the Capuan Gladiators. And let me go through their stats real quick. Comes from Einar. They're human, common squad. Gladiators, rebellious, medium 5, 1 life, move of 5, range of 1, attack of 3, defense of 3, 70 points. Their abilities are human gladiator hero bonding. Before taking a turn with the Capuan Gladiators, you may first take a turn with any human gladiator hero you control. And they have a thing called initiative advantage. If all of your order markers are on gladiator army cards, you may add 1 to your initiative roll for every order marker on the Capuan Gladiators army card, up to a maximum of +3 for initiative advantage. So no, these guys are interesting. They're definitely great with the bonding, because you basically take any gladiator hero that you have and merge them with them. What do you guys think, Josiah? Is this a favor of yours? I know that, like, when it comes to this particular squad, like a financial cost, they are kind of hard to get, and they're kind of rarer to get too, I think.
Yeah, no, they are quite costly if you're looking for a new Capuan squad. Mm-hmm. They're upwards of $90 to $100 for them, and you need multiples to get their full use.
Yes.
But these are actually one of the first squads I painted for Heroscape, so I have a soft spot in my heart for them. Really, really nice to paint. The hardest part is the white kilts, but they're not, or skirts or whatever they're wearing. But it's not too hard with a bit of practice. But thematically, these guys are great. They are just one of my favorite teams to play. You know, you bring them with Spartacus and any other gladiator of your choice, and you're wrecking in the right setups. So they are deadly and powerful.
Yeah, Justin in the chat saying Spartacus, Crixus, and 3 squads. Yes, how much is that worth? Joe, what do you think about these guys?
I might have to get some of these 3D printed, because I like melee bonding a lot, and I only have 1 squad of them originally, and I forgot about the initiative advantage. I think if you play Capuan Gladiators and you take, trying to think of a good build, I think by the end of the podcast, I'll have a good build for them, where I'm like, okay, you know what? I'll definitely take this to a tournament. Because I've never seen them. I've been to a lot of tournaments. I've never seen anyone play them. So I'm going to be stoked when I go to a tournament and I see some of these, because not a very common thing to see. And is that because they're really expensive, or is it because they're just not as good as people think they are? Maybe it's a what are the Jandar horses that everyone's loving now? Why can't I think of the name?
Templar Cavalry.
The Templar, yeah, Cavalry, yeah. Maybe it's one of those situations where it's like somebody will use it, wreck an entire tournament, and they're like, "Oh, we gotta go out and get Capuan Gladiators." But yeah, people are sleeping on these probably. Very possible. Yeah, completely forgot about the initiative advantage. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that I ran skirmishes with, because I have a squad worth of these, and so with this squad, and the thing is with they're great with like Crixus, and they're great as long as you're dealing like tournament wise on like a higher point value, because Spartacus is great with them, but Spartacus is 200 points. And
yeah, I was gonna say, I'm gonna try to see if someone can. What's he in Delta?
Yeah,
let's look it up now.
Yeah, and
I think he might be 180 in Delta. Let's see here.
Yeah, maybe.
That's still pretty.
Justin's saying 200 points for Spartacus is crazy, and it was too long of a wait between waves 4 and 9. Yeah, I mean, they have their advantages, but I'll tell you, with the skirmishes that I had with them, the gladiators I had, and it was kind of a fairly even point army, I think well within like 2 to 250 points of gladiators and Crixus against Blastotrons and Gladiatrons. and Blastotrons and Gladiatrons made mincemeat out of these guys. They did pretty good. So I guess it just depends on what army you're going against, and trust me, it doesn't stop me from wanting to play them in the future, because I think with the bonding, they have an initiative advantage. I think they're good. It just depends on what you're playing with. I think if you had Spartacus on the team, with more squads, I think they would be a really valuable asset. But yeah, I mean, those are just my thoughts from just playing them initially like a month or so ago. Jason, what do you think about these guys?
I mean, I like the manipulation you gave with the initiative boost, and also I'm reading here with Spartacus how they all interact and get +1. It's a +1 attack and +1 defense if you put the order on Spartacus, as well as
+1 movement.
And +1 movement. So you can do some really manipulating things that change stats up pretty good. But
Right.
I mean, I guess if you are facing against a primary ranged army, that probably won't go super well for you. You get a couple guys picked off, and I don't know, maybe you get into combat, but.
Right. Like with Blastotrons, Gladiatrons, it really, and with the Gladiatrons, keeping like certain miniatures in place, they just wipe the floor of the Gladiators. I mean, I think even with fourth mass, I think that would be kind of hard for them, being a melee unit, you know.
Yeah, the Gladiators are good. They play a bit predictably because you always put your X on Spartacus and you put them on the Capuan Gladiators. And they lack some strong range support. I know VC has the Chilean Gladiatrix that kind of goes with them, but I don't hear a lot of people talk about her too much. It's just they're really fun, and on a really small, tight map, they can clean house because four attack, 4 defense, and 6 move, plus bonding with an additional boosted, gladiator is you're swamping. You just got to be patient and slowly encroach everyone together. So that's kind of that's the trade-off you have there.
Yeah, and I think Justin here in the chat hits it right on the head. The problem with the gladiators is Knights of Weston and Sir Gilbert exist exactly, and you see a lot more knights in tournaments. I've used them myself at ScapeCon. Actually, that was one of my wins in ScapeCon 2 against Mike himself. I use knights, Knights of Weston are a 4-man squad with bonding, exactly. And this is the Capuan Gladiators. There's 3-man squad, and I don't remember how much points per squad are Knights of Weston again.
Is that standard or? Yeah.
Standard is 70.
70?
The card is 70.
Okay, so 70 for Knights of Weston. Or 70 points for the Capuan Gladiators that are only 3. It's Knights of Weston, definitely a better option, it seems like. So yeah,
and Sir Gilbert does the mini movement for them, so they kind of offset the one little slower movement that the Knights of Weston have compared to the Gladiators. So it's like and they have the human bonding champion too, so it's kind of the same basic feature, but with one of their heroes.
I mean, I think the one advantage is Spartacus. If you're able to get I Am Spartacus out there with the Gladiators to give them a boost, that might give you an advantage. But yeah.
Would you believe if I told you that Spartacus in Delta
is 195?
Is 195? Yeah. What's the deal with that?
It's really good. It's a really good army. You just have to be patient. Yeah. Gladiators would beat Knights of Weston in a 1-on-1 match, like I would say most of the time, just because you can get through their defense and you can get higher ground with that 6 move. It's and if you bring in, I think it's Prisius from VC, then they get the additional attack. They're bringing people down if they get next to them, but it's called the steamroller. That's the army you build with them, is you just kind of go through and wipe out people. But if they have strong range or can stand up against you, you'll fall fast.
For sure. And let's see here. Okay, when it comes to lore on these guys, it doesn't seem like there is any. I mean, they are a historical unit, technically, because they are gladiators, I assume, from like Roman Empire stuff. So that is a cool thing. But as far as like a Heroscape lore, I don't think there's anything, at least nothing that I know about. And let me see here. When it comes to synergies, let me see here. Yeah, we got Crixus, Rotarius, Spartacus, and then lots of C3V synergies as well. So, I mean, if you can afford them or do 3D printing of them, I mean, they are a fun option. You do have your advantages. It just depends on how much one wants to pay. And I mean, they're given good rating. They're giving good power rankings too by the community. It looks like a B plus, so that's not bad for them. But yeah, I think the one option is like just gladiators or knights, you know, and most of the time people are probably going to go with knights.
I wish they didn't have human gladiator bonding. I wish it was just gladiator bonding, because that leaves it open for so many more cool options in the future. You know, you get Major X-17 is a gladiator now, you know, and it's you can bond with him, and that would be really fun. Or you get you know, a gladiator Morrow warrior viper or something. It's something kind of weird synergies, but we're sticking to humans, kind of keeps it kind of milquetoast.
For sure.
Like that.
And Justin says, and let me just end the segment, because I think we talk about all. I mean, I would really. I mean, I'm looking forward to use the gladiators more. Because I've used them once. I definitely want to see how they synergize and get a few more squads worth. So I mean, for anybody looking out there, I mean, like I said, it is pricier. If you want to get the original classic minis, less so if you want to do the 3D printed versions. But let's just say, let's end it with Justin saying in the chat, Renegade, please give us some bear gladiators. There you go. And that might change the game altogether. But for anybody watching this segment, this has been taking a look at the Capuan or Capuan. How do you say that, Josiah?
It's Capuan. It's because it's based off the city of Capua in the south of Italy.
There you go. There's some lore for you right there. All right. Yeah. The Capuan Gladiators for your consideration on your classic Heroscape armies.